A very good Erev Shabbos Parshas Pinchas greetings to you all. This afternoon the sun is shining after days of rain, so I hope we're in for perhaps a brighter weekend than we've had in the past, at least the past week. Shabbos starts at, those that make it in early make it at 8 o'clock, although the true time of Shabbos is 9:13. And tomorrow Shabbos will finish at 10:48. We are reading chapter 6 of the Ethics of the Fathers tomorrow afternoon. A brief summary of the Parsha which we are reading. It starts off with Aaron's grandson Pinchas, who, although he was Aaron the high priest's grandson, nevertheless he'd never been anointed as a Kohen. But after his act of zealousness to defend the honor of the Almighty at the end of last week's portion, he is rewarded by being given and anointed as a Kohen himself. Until then, and from then onwards, all his descendants will be Kohanim. The Torah then continues with a census of the people. There were a total of 601,730 males between the ages of 20 and 60. We don't have any record of people below that age or over that age or of the women. This is in compared to 603,550, which is at the beginning of their sojourn in the desert. So ultimately not a lot of difference in numbers, considering the fact that some 15,000 people died every year as a result of the decree that they had to stay in the desert. Moses is then instructed, because not long now before they're going to cross over the Jordan into the land of Canaan to become the land of Israel, and he is instructed on how the land is to be divided up depending on the size of the tribes and the families and so on of the people of Israel. A slight gap in the instructions occurred when we had the 5 daughters of Tzlofchad. Perhaps this is the first example of Jewish feminism. You have these 5 women who decided they did not like the current arrangements and they were about to protest. So they went to Moses and they said, look, our father passed away in the desert. Had he been alive, he would inherit a portion as a significant portion of the land, and we would thereby get it as well. So now that he's not alive, what are we supposed to do? Who inherits our father's portion? And so the Almighty decided, Moses at that point did not know the answer. He was brave enough to say so, and he says, I will ask the Almighty. And he did. An entire portion is now added, which describes how the laws of inheritance go to the women as well. So these 5 daughters, Machal, Noach, Hogla, Milcah, and Sirza, all very righteous women, through them we have an extra portion in the Torah. The following piece is Moses, who now is aware that he's shortly to die and is worried what's going to happen to the people. So he asks God that he can please have somebody, can he choose who will be the person to take over when he dies? And so Moses is told that it's just to be Joshua. There's a verse in this week's Seder which is the only one of its kind in the entire 5 books of Moses. You'll be familiar with many times the verse that says, and God spoke to Moses saying. This time it's Moses spoke to God saying. And he says, please will you have somebody, can you tell me who I'm supposed to appoint as the next leader? The Parsha then concludes with a detailed list of all the sacrificial offerings that are to be brought in the temple, from the daily offering to the sabbatical extra offerings to Rosh Chodesh, to Pesach, Shavuos, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Shmini Atzeres. And with that, the Torah, their portion finishes. We'll do a little bit of davening and then we'll have a few thoughts. Yedid nefesh avarachamon meshoich avdecha el retzoinecha yaharutz avdecha kama haya hayom yishtachave el mol hadarecha yerahav loy yedid neisecha mino haife hesuf v'chol
Adam Adonai Ziv ha'olam Nafshi chayala sahavasecha Yana erena refahana hala Beharis la na yamsi vecha Yaz tischazek Vesisra hape Vahisa hala Simchas olam Vasigemuna rachamecha v'chusana ala beinahu v'cha ki ze kama nichsafti lireis meher abesifer esuzecha yelecham dacham dalibi v'chusana v'yalti salam Higa halena Hofreitz chavivi alai Yesu kas shloimecha Ta'id eretz mikvaydecha Nabava vagila Benismecha bach Maher ahai Kiva hamaye V'chanenu ki Me'olam Did la 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 Did la 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 Did la 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 Did la 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 Did la 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 Did yam ma 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 Did la 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 Did la 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 Did la 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 ba 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 Did la 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 Did it la 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 Did it la 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 Hi na 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 Did it la 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 Did it la 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 Did it ma 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 Did it la 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 Did it la 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 Did it la 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 Did it la 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 Did it la 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 Did it la 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 Thank you. We'll do a little bit more in a minute. Would like to announce this week's yacht sites. Tomorrow, Edward Patnick has yacht site for his brother, which is Philip Patnick, and his name was, it doesn't have it here, but I remember it was Pesach Goodman ben Aden Meir. On Tuesday, Everett Jacobs observes yacht site for his uncle, Rabbi Yehuda ben Meir, and Hilary Mendelssohn observes yacht site for her father, whose name I do not have. Janice Weitsch on Wednesday observes yacht site for her mother, Esther Bas Malka. And on Friday, Adrian Rubenstein has yacht site for his mother, whose name is also doesn't appear here. I think it's Yachat ben Moshe HaLevi, I think it is. I can't remember. Yehuda Moshe Yehuda HaLevi. So we wish everybody a Riches Yomim V'Shonim Toves. Just some interesting things. It might have passed you by, but there was a major international conclusion of the study of Maimonides, which happened yesterday. And today marks the start of the cycle for the 40th occasion. This is something that the Rebbe brought in. We should study Maimonides every day. Some study it in that they study just the mitzvot, which are associated with the laws that Maimonides writes. Others study one chapter a day, in which case the cycle will take them 3 years to complete. And others, like myself, we study 3 chapters a day, which means to complete it in just under a year. So today begins the start of the new cycle. Now, Maimonides was a very interesting fellow, a genius, and he was Nachasfadi, which is, of difficulty coping with that, but there it is. And he wrote laws on every single aspect of the Torah, many of which were not so clearly written in the books of the Talmud or the Mishnah, because they were laws, let's say, of healthy eating, healthy sleeping, how to work out the cycle of the moon based on mathematics, little of which is to be found in the Talmud or sources. But he himself was a master mathematician, and he was also a doctor, so he was qualified to talk on both of these two subjects, as well as everything else. And the point he said was, if you study his book, you will have effectively studied the entire Torah, or everything that's associated with it. So, learning the Rambam is, if you like, a way of covering everything, even if you're not necessarily so well versed in the study of the Talmud. All of this is available online in English if people want it. But what I thought we'd do, since it's a special day, and I happen to be making this video on the day when it begins, I would like to learn with you some of the opening chapters of his introduction. And he writes as follows. And I shall translate directly into English. All the mitzvahs that were given to Moses at Mount Sinai were given with their explanation. As the verse says, this is from the book of Exodus, chapter 24, verse 12. I gave to you the tablets of stone, the Torah, and the mitzvah. Torah, says Rambam, this refers to the actual written Torah. Mitzvah refers to its explanation. And God commanded us to do the Torah, to keep the written word, according to the oral explanation. And this mitzvah is known as the Torah Shebal Peh, the oral teaching. All of the Torah was written by Moses, our teacher, before he would die, with his own handwriting. He wrote down a Sefer Torah for each tribe, that's 12 tribes. Then another Sefer, another tribe was put inside the Ark of the Covenant, or some say next to the Ark of the Covenant, but in the Holy of Holies. As the verse says in Deuteronomy 31:26, taking this Sefer HaTorah and put it at the side of the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord your God. And it shall be to you there as a witness. So if you ever needed to check if your Sefer Torah was indeed kosher, the one in the Ark or next to the Ark would be your source reference. The explanation of the Torah he did not write down. He simply instructed it to the elders and to Joshua and to the rest of the people of Israel. As it says, all of this which I command you today, all of this which I command you, you shall keep in order to do. You must not add to it, neither must you take away from it. And that's why it's called the oral law, because it initially was transmitted by word of mouth. Even though the oral law is not written down, Moses taught all of it in his Beis Din to the 70 elders, Eleazar and Pinchas and Joshua. All three of them received the tradition from Moses. And Joshua, who was his faithful student, he gave him over the entire teachings of the oral law, and he commanded him that he should make sure to transmit that to the next generation. And similarly, Joshua, all the days of his life, he taught that and he followed it on. Many elders received from Joshua. And Eli, the high priest, was one of the elders, and he received from Joshua and from Pinchas. Samuel received from Eli and his Beis Din. King David received from Samuel and his Beis Din. Achia Shiloni, I don't know how to translate his name, Shiloni is from Shiloh. He was one of those who actually left Egypt. He was a Levi, and he was quite young at the time, and he heard the tradition from Moses directly, but he also received it from David and his Beis Din. Elijah the prophet received that from Achia Shiloni and his Beis Din, and Elisha from Elijah. And then Rambam goes on to list all the various generations, 14 total, till we get to the time of the Mishnah and the Talmud. And therefore he details the transmission of all of our learning, of all of our mitzvahs, one by one. So there you have, that was Moses Maimonides writing in the year 1177, which is 843 years ago. His words are still being studied on a daily basis, as I have already mentioned. A thought for this week. Yesterday was the fast of Tammuz, which begins a sad time in our history. It heralds the breaching of the walls of Jerusalem, which eventually led to the destruction of the temple on the 9th of Av, 3 weeks later to the day. This temple was like a mezuzah protects the home. The temple protected the Jewish people. It was a source of great spirituality, a source of coming together, a source of miracles. You could go there at any time and watch these things take place and shake your head in wonder. It confirmed, reaffirmed, it strengthened, instilled within us the spirituality which we are supposed to have. When that was destroyed, things went downhill after that. We've been pushed around from pillar to post, from country to country, and even in the state of Israel which we now have, we are not 100% safe, nowhere near it. So we are still reliant on God's protection, which sometimes appears to be there, and sometimes, as in recent history of the 20th century, appears to have been asleep, as the wise men refer to it. So the temple is very important to us. We've not stopped forgetting about it. And anyone who mourns the loss of the temple and waits any day for the coming of Mashiach and it could be rebuilt, will indeed merit to see that, or at least we hope that that will happen. So these are the laws, these are the weeks that we are in, but we are careful as we are semi-mourning because of it. So we don't buy new clothes, we're not supposed to take haircuts, we're not supposed to listen to live music or even recorded music if it's meant for happiness. We're supposed to be a little bit muted in our rejoicing. No weddings take place during these 3 weeks. Engagements are allowed to take place, but without a festive occasion. We are mourning the loss of something that is spiritual, and woe betide us if we fail to mourn that, because that means that none of this is important to us, and that cannot be, because a Jew, his soul and his spiritual identity is always that which is supposed to come first, and your material things are second. They're there and they are important, but we prize our mitzvahs above everything. So these are the 3 weeks that we are in. But the verse says in the books of the prophets that a day will come when God will transform the fast of the 4th month, that was yesterday, the fast of the 5th month, that's the 9th of Av in 3 weeks' time, the fast of the 7th month, that's the fast of Tzom Gedalia, it's the day after Rosh Hashanah, and the fast of the 10th month, which is the 10th of Tevet, when the initial besieging of the city of Jerusalem started. All of those will be turned into days of rejoicing, turns into festival days. How will that be? Because ultimately all these sad days are days which had great potential, but we failed to use it, and so it became something negative. But if we can recapture that potential, then we can turn it into a festival, not just a regular day, but into a proper festival. So here's to the festivals that will be. The fast of 17th of Tammuz we just fast, but the 9th of Av can be turned into a day of rejoicing if we want to. There is an old custom that the Jewish women folk used to sweep the floor on a Tisha B'Av afternoon and get dressed in preparation for the coming of Mashiach, because it is said that the 9th of Av is the day the Mashiach was born. So look forward. Do your best. Increase in your mitzvahs. Turn these sad weeks into happy weeks. Make the best we can of something which was not necessarily used by our forefathers in the choicest way, and turn it into something better by doing an extra mitzvah, particular studying things relating to the building of the temple is a particular significance, and improving on our Torah and mitzvah, as Moses Maimonides writes, the study of the written law and the performance of the oral law, the mitzvahs which are associated with it. Let us conclude with a little bit more of Kabbalat Shabbat. Tzaddik ata ma yifrach ke'yeres ba'lavonayn yizkeh shesulim be'heves Adonai bechatzra Eloheinu yafrich
Michu Haidyenuvun Beseva Deshayanim Hadananim Yehu Lehagid Ki Yashar Adayanai Tzuri Velai Havala Sahabai Miko Elois Mayim Rabim Madirim Mishmereyam Hadin B'Amoraim Adonai Yedo Yisecha Nemenu Miyai Lebeis Chana V'Avakodesh Adonai Li'orech Yamim. Good Shabbos.